Hi guys. What I thought I might do is create the vector map that we'll be, using for part of our assessment. So I've already brought in a screenshot onto the desktop. I'm just going to go from scratch, and I'm going to paste that into my screen. So there's my screenshot of where I thought that my festival will be. Yours is going to be a different location. You can make up whatever location you'd like or invent one completely out of your head. I've just chosen this place up the north coast, and I figured this might be a good looking piece of landscape that I can create my map with. So once I've got it on my stage, I'm just going to lock that off, and so I won't be drawing on that. What I want to do is create the content on this top level. Now, what I'm going to do is just use my pencil tool or pen tool, I should say. I'm going to use my pen tool and just draw out my line work. Now, when I do this, I typically would have no fill. It's probably a really good tip for you guys. I'm just going to have no fill on my path because I'm going to style it all up a little bit later. What I'm doing first is just really what I call gathering the information, and I'm just drawing off my main landmass like so. Just whipping my pen tool around that, and pretty good. All right, that's my main landmass. All right, and I'm now going to draw another shape, another little square shape like here, and this is going to be the water that sits in behind it, and that'll be, again, I'm just going to arrange that to the back. So I've got my landmass and I've got my water in place. Now we just need to draw some of these sort of connecting roads and bits and pieces. So again, I probably would use my pen tool for this, and bear in mind it's not a road map, not a Google map. It's a tourist map, so it has a different look and feel. So I'm just going to draw out some of these shapes, and as I said, don't worry if yours is not super accurate. It's not someone's going to navigate, too harshly on this. I'm just drawing some shapes, and that's kind of okay. You could also use your pencil tool, N for pencil. So some of this more freeform line work, I can just draw just simple little lines. So maybe I've got a little track that goes up there. Another road down here. So pencil or pen tool, whichever works for you guys. Now, some of these roads sort of have more dominance than others. Maybe these are the two main roads that lead in and out of the place. So I might just pop their weight up a little bit, like so. This guy here, he was a walking track. So in my stroke menu, wherever that is, so if you can't see yours, get a window and stroke. That'll bring this guy up, and you can give him another bit of weight, and you can also make it a dashed line, which is kind of cool. So there's pretty much my roads going on. So a few little other bits and pieces. There we go. That's my road work done. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about too much else. So I'm going to put some of the features of the festival in. So maybe I've got a very large main stage kind of idea. Maybe I've got the main stage is sort of, maybe it's here. Maybe that's the main stage, and I can just rotate that guy around. He might be, where the main events are. Something like that. And I might draw another just a little shape here that sort of represents maybe the audience or the mosh pit or whatever you like. I can put in some other icons through here. So maybe I've got some toilet blocks or amenities, that kind of thing here. So I could simulate those through there. Maybe I've also got some communications or something down here. So maybe there's a communication centre here. I might designate that area like so. Maybe there's a first aid centre. Perhaps that's there, You can also use icons. Now, Illustrator actually comes with a whole bunch of preset symbols, and if I want to use those, I can go to the window library, jump down and look for symbols, click that guy right there, and this little icon comes out, and you've got a little sandwich bar over to the right hand side, and you can open the symbol library. And from here, there's a whole bunch of sort of preset little bits and pieces here. Like I'm using the maps one at the moment, so I've got that there. So maps, and there it is there. So if I want to use, say, I want maybe that icon for my telephone icon there, get a bit closer so we can all see that. That's a predetermined symbol. Now we've got wheelchair access here, something like that. First aid center, maybe that was over here. That could be the icon for that little map. What did we have over here? We had some toilet blocks or amenities. Again, you've got icons for that kind of thing. So that's going to take some of the work out of it. But, you know, you might feel free to make your own. There's no problem with that. All right, so you've got some icons there. I'll just close that guy off. So I've got a few little bits. So that's some of the landscape. I might just put some type in around about now. So I might put in the bay that this sits in. My bay. That might sit there, and again, yours is going to look completely different, guys. This is just a guide how to do it. So, max point, there it is there. It might be there, and you know, whatever other major sort of, geographical feature you might want to brand that up. But okay, and you know, if you want to have roads in here, that might be the main road that people might recognise. So that might be the whatever that is. Road, something along that. So it's just, you know, you're having these sort of indicators into here. Okay, so I'm pretty okay with this at this point. Certainly more we can do, but you know, that's a good starting point. Once I've got my major sort of land masses, if you like, if I think about it that way, we can start to colour this up. So, you know, I'm just going to put a few more bits in here. So just fiddling around here. Stage, and you can brand these up as you go, right? So I'm just trying to do this kind of quickly. So once I've got all my bits and pieces in place, I can start to, you know, style this up. So once I've got most of my bits and pieces in place, I can then start to style this thing up. So this whole land masses seem to have jumped to the front. So I'm just going to select these two guys, the land and the sea. I'm just selecting those guys. I'm just going to send them to the back. So arrange and send to the back. Yep, and all this other stuff. So I'm just going into this Command Y view at the moment. So I've got other things under there. What I want to do is bring all this stuff to the front. So maybe I might copy these land features, delete them, and actually put them on their own layer. So this is the land, and having copied it, I'm going to edit, I'm going to paste in place. So they'll all go to that same sort of position in time. So I can turn that off. These are all green, so they weren't showing up. So I'm going to turn these strokes, you know, just to change them so I can sort of see a little bit better what I'm doing. Just getting some colour going now. So this might be white. This main stage, I'm going to give it a slightly lighter colour so we can see it. Make these a bit lighter so that I can see them. I might make them yellowish so they stand out a little bit more. That's better. Let's see what we look like there. Yeah, there we go. Everything's looking so much better. Bring those guys to the front. All these icons and things. I'm going to make those a white colour, something like that. And there it's starting to look pretty decent. There we go. That looks pretty good. So maybe I want to show some beaches or some other features of the landscape. So I've got this, and I want to sort of show some sort of sandy beaches. What I might do is I might just draw a little shape through here that might be, you know, that might be my beach area. So I'm going to give that a sandy type colour. Okay, and remember I'm on my landmass layer here now. So that green thing, that green landmass, needs to be brought to the front. So I'm getting my sandy beach, and I can sort of do that same thing. I can draw another sandy cove or something like that. So I'm going to draw, remember I'm on my land layer, just going to draw a little sort of sandy cove through here. It's on top of the green mass at this point in time. So we're going to select our landmass and right click to control to arrange, bring that to the front, and I could keep on with this. But it's starting to look like a map. Okay, it's starting to feel like a map. This is the idea, guys. So yours is going to look completely different from mine. Don't think you need to copy me. Just make it up. Have some fun with it. Doesn't, you know, have some little fun with it. Like, so if you wanted to put some trees and so forth. So maybe there's some trees, like some icons for trees. That's not a very good tree, is it, guys? That's even worse, but we're going to go with that. Right, so there's my tree. Just a little bit darker. Really small. It's a map, so it's just sort of like an icon. And you can copy a few of those around here and there just to represent the bush. Bushy through here, so that kind of thing can add a lot to it. You know, just draw one, repeat it, put tons of copies around so it feels a bit more like, you know, natural bushland. All right. Yeah, and you can draw all sorts of things on this thing. Other thing you might want to do is brand the thing, because this is a festival map. It's got a point, so this is my festival logo. What I've done is I've just copied it into this file. I'm going to drag it into here, and I'm just going to make sure he's on my top layer. Make sure he's on my top layer, and I'm just going to paste that in place on this top layer. There it is there. Looking good, nearly there, guys. So maybe this has a central location. So maybe it's the Manning River Showgrounds. There we go. That's it there. White, pop that in there. There's my festival map. And look, obviously I've done this really quickly. Yours is going to look different. Have some fun with it, guys. You know, put what you think in. Finally, thing is, we've got a few issues where this sort of stuff hangs off to the edge here a little bit, which is perfectly fine, because what I'm going to see, so I've got some lines and other bits that are extending out. Not a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm pretty much done with my base layer, so I can delete that. At this point in time, I could probably flatten that layer, so I can flatten it. Merge selected, that would do it. So it's all on the one layer now. All on the one layer. And I can just select with a square shape over the top. Let's make this really obvious what I'm doing. Okay, I'm on the same layer. I've got a square shape over the top of everything. Remember, I'm working on one layer now. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a clipping mask, which is cool. There's my map. That's the job done. Maps are fun. Maps are great. And look, have some fun with it. Really, I'm here to help. And I hope this helps you guys. So I will see you all in class, and good luck with the map.